Hi, folks. We are getting ready for Global Tarot Circle. We're about 3 minutes away. If you're watching this in archive, just stay tuned. We've got a lot of interesting, we've got a lot of interesting things here. Today's date is October 11th, 2017. And in about 3 minutes at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, we're going to get started. We'll get started with your burning questions. We also have some great topics to discuss today. Because it's October, we're going to discuss tarot magic and we're going to discuss spirit communication. We'll also talk about why those things are so important in October. So, what I'm doing here is I'm looking for the feed and hang on one second here. Okay, yeah. I am looking for the feed so I can see people's messages. I can see, though, that Leisha is here already. So happy to see you here. Glad you're here. Let me look. Okay, and let me turn the volume down, and I should be able to see the chat room so I can see what we've got going on. And Karen is here. So last time we met, Karen was here. And we talked about Rowdy, your dog, and I know Rowdy's had some issues. Chat in and let us know how Rowdy's doing. We've, of course, been keeping Rowdy in our prayers. And I see you're at work, so if you can't talk too much, I understand. I see Amy is here. I see Lola is here. So glad you all are here and so on time. It is only, we're really a minute away from our start time, so that's great. So let us waste no time. Those of you who are here, go ahead and chat in your name, chat in where you are in the world. And if you have any burning questions, we do try to do a few readings before we get into our topic. And if I don't get to yours, I do apologize. We do what we can. The screen goes by pretty quick, so I don't see everyone, and I try. I really do. So go ahead, chat in your question. It could be a question about tarot, about a card that you've received, about something about tarot you'd like to know or don't understand, or it could be a burning question for a reading, something you'd like to ask a room full of tarot readers, and we'll go ahead and do those readings. I see Jean is here from Lutz. It's so good to see you. I see Irene is here. Glad you're here. Michelle. And Lola is here, and what she says is, I want to first of all thank Global Tarot Circle for last year's answer to my burning questions. I asked about whether I should look to make my home, about where I should look to make my home, and in August my husband and I moved into our very first house together in Wine Country, Ontario. Excuse me. Advice was to look for a place where my heart was connected and where there was family and friends support, and we found it. Thank you all. So how great is that? You know, one of the reasons we do this, and we've been doing these meetings for quite some time. We moved to Facebook Live maybe a year ago, before we were doing them on WebEx. Facebook Live has its limitations, but it allows more people to come. It allows more people to participate. So that works out really well. So Karen is letting us know about her dog, Rowdy. So what we're seeing here is feedback from last meetings, and people letting us know how the readings we did worked out. And so what Karen said about her dog, Rowdy, she says he almost died. He had diabetic ketoacidosis and pancreatitis. He is home and better, thank you. Oh, that's fabulous. Very good. So Irene wants to talk about timing. And so this is a great question for tarotists. If you are a tarot reader, if you have your cards with you, let's talk about how we figure out timing in the cards. And I see Kira is here. I see Jamie is here. So glad that you are here. Let's talk about timing. How do the cards indicate timing? And again, as you come in, go ahead and chat in the comments if you have burning questions, if you want to do some shameless self-promotion, if you've got a blog post, if you've got a business, if you want to drop a link, go ahead and do that. I see Diana is here saying, yay, I finally didn't miss this. Yeah, so glad that you're here. And, you know, there are people here, I'll speak to those people now, who will be watching an archive. This video will be floating around the internet now forever. And so if you happen to be watching and it's not October 11th between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, well then you've missed the opportunity to ask questions, but you can still listen and enjoy, and it should be lots of fun. So while people are getting questions together, and we will do a couple of readings, so go ahead if you have questions about tarot, which is what we're going to work on now, or if you have questions for the cards, questions for a group full of tarot readers, go ahead and chat them in. We'll get to a few. We won't get to everyone, but we'll get to a few. And our primary topics tonight are going to be seasonal topics having to do with using tarot for magic and using tarot to communicate with those in spirit, with those who have passed on. So that's what we'll be talking about later in the hour. But right now we're doing burning questions. And the burning question comes from Irene, and it's about timing, how to figure out when something will happen. And I'm just going to talk about this for a few minutes. But if any of you have good ideas for timing, good ideas for specific spreads to do or specific ways that you see the cards indicating timing in a reading, go ahead and chat in and let us know. And I'll say right off the bat, in my own practice, timing is the most difficult thing. Sometimes I get it right on. It'll happen in 3 months or it'll happen in the next week. Sometimes I'm way off. And I'll admit that freely because you know what? I'm pretty good. I'm not off on most things. And when someone asks me for a timing reading, I will let them know right off, you know, I'll try, I'll see what I see, but timing is hard. Now, when we talk about timing, typically we're talking about predictive stuff. When will something happen? When can I expect this? When would be the best time to do this? And honestly, if you're looking for the best time to do something, tarot is good, but maybe astrology is better. You know, that's the kind of thing that astrology is really good with. But so when we talk about timing, we often think about predictive stuff. But timing is also important. If you're doing a general reading for someone, you may see trauma in their past. And to be able to pinpoint that, to say what happened when you were 7, or what happened before the age of 10, or what's happened in the past 3 years that has been so traumatic, or I see there was a difficulty in your health about 15 years ago. Those kinds of things, that's timing as well. If you can see timing toward the future, you can also see timing toward the past. So a couple of things. First of all, you can assign specific suits to specific increments of time. You can say that one suit will equal weeks, and one suit will equal days, and one suit will equal months, and another will equal years. And then you can look at the number on a major arcana card and say, okay, so the 2 of Cups might be 2 months. The 3 of Wands might be 3 weeks. There's a number of systems that do that. For me, it's crap. I can't make that work. Some people make it work really well. I really don't. Sometimes I see seasons in the cards. I look at the card and it will just it feels fall-like, it feels spring-like. And the same card may feel spring-like one day and fall-like another day. Sometimes I look at the numbers and I'll think about what's logical. Well, maybe there's a lot of 8s showing up and it feels like it'll happen in months, so it'll be 8 months. Sometimes I look at the numbers and the numbers correspond with months. So 10s, it'll happen in October. 8s, it will happen in August. Often those things show up that way too. Sometimes timing is, it will happen when you do such and such. When am I going to find a new job? When you look for one. You know, that kind of thing. So let's see what we've got going on here. I can see it on the screen, but I can actually see it better on my phone. So from Diana. Diana says she was in a chat the other night where the reader said she didn't do timing at all. And yeah, I mean, we all have what we're best at and what we're comfortable doing. I believe that to be great readers, we have to hop outside the comfort zone sometimes. But still, it's good to know what your wheelhouse is, right? Okay, so here's a question. Those of you who would like to do a reading, here it comes. Get your cards, shuffle. We're reading for Diana. Anyone who wants to participate can. What I suggest is you do one card in answer to the question that I'm going to read for you. And when you answer the question, put it in the comment, put her name. It's for Diana. Put the name of the card you got. So you say Diana, then the name of the card, and then your interpretation. Don't just put the cards and make us do the interpretation. That's not fun. We're each going to do one card. It'll kind of come together to be a good group reading for Diana on this question. Diana wants to know this. What are my prospects for creating a spiritual business around tarot and astrology? Or should I go with a different focus? And so I don't know what go with a different focus means. And this is a really good, like if you're in a professional reading and someone says that, it's good to clarify the question, because does that mean, well, gee, I want to stay metaphysical, but maybe I should read runes and do Reiki, Or should I, what does a different focus mean? I don't know what a different focus means in this context. So for me, I am simply going to look at the question, what about Diana having a business doing readings around tarot and astrology? And let's just take a look at that. So I get 9 of Pentacles reversed. So my answer is this, Diana, I can't see your prospects yay or nay because you don't see your prospects. I feel like you are not confident in it. And one thing you gotta be is confident, So if you don't have the knowledge and you're not confident in your knowledge, get more knowledge. But my guess is, because I know you, Diana, and you've been studying for a really long time, my guess is you have the knowledge, you're just not confident in you. So now we're going to do a little bit of tarot magic. Remember I told you there would be tarot magic today. You didn't think it would start right here with Diana's reading, but here it is. So Rachel Pollack says that turning a reversal around or inverting a card can be a magical act. And so I am going to consciously turn the 9 of Pentacles reversed right side up and affirm that Diana can have confidence in herself, feel comfortable in herself and her craft, and be very successful with it. So there you go. Let's see what else we got going on here. Okay. Oh, and here's a fun question from Sheila. Hi, Sheila. I'm happy you're here. Sheila wants to know if I have a favorite overall spread other than Celtic Cross. And so here's what, we have a number of conversations going on at the same time. Global Tarot Circle is nothing if not crazy for an hour. So if anyone has ideas on tarot timing, chat them in. If anyone has favorite overall spreads, chat them in. And then we'll see what the answers are for Diana as well. So we've really got 3 conversations going on, as well as people chatting in their questions. So to answer your question for me, Sheila, my 11 card Celtic Cross is my go-to spread. I do this spread every day. I do it whether it's an hour-long reading, a 2-hour-long reading, or a 5-minute reading. I do the same damn spread. And I've been doing it for 25 years. What does that make me? Am I boring? Am I stuck? Do I just love this spread so much? I do not know, but it works for me. I like to play with other spreads, but for my workhorse, for my go-to, what I'm going to do with a client, pretty much every reading, almost virtually every reading I do, starts with that same Celtic Cross. That's me. I'd love to hear from other people. There are other spreads I recommend. There are other spreads I like. I design spreads. I publish spreads. But truth, that 11-card Celtic Cross does everything I need it to do to start the reading. Then I do dialogue, I do small spreads, I might create a spread. I do other spreads within a reading if I have more than 5 minutes. So there's that part of it too. Okay. And so Diana comes back with a question, says, okay, better question. What projects, business ideas should I cut out to narrow my focus? What isn't going to work? Well, that's hard because we don't know what you're thinking, you know? We don't know if you're looking at building an airplane or recycling chairs. I mean, we just don't know. But let's see. Joanne is speaking to timing. And hi, Joanne. It's nice to see you. I was glad to see you in person recently. Joanne says about timing, one of the most obvious is when you draw the Eight of Wands, something's going to happen very quickly. And so she brings up a really good point about tarot timing, that some cards indicate speed or slowness. Eight of Wands is a fast card. Knight of Swords is a fast card. Knight of Pentacles is a slow card. Four of Swords is a slow card. So it'll happen quickly or it will take some time. Sometimes the cards can tell you. That's brilliant. Hey, Maria, nice to see you here. Okay, Jennifer's here, so she wants a reading. You can type in a burning question. If we have time, we will get to you. Okay. And then, so Diana qualifies this and says, metaphysical or try something different than tarot and astrology. And she says, yes, definitely not confident. From Lola for Diana, she gets the Lovers. You have a choice to make before you proceed. From Jean, Diana has the reversed Page of Cups. Jean says Diana is shy. And it's hard. It's hard to do this work as a shy person. Truth be told, I was a shy person. I've sort of learned to not be so shy, maybe. So there's that. Hey, Laura, good to see you. Glad you're here. Okay, from Sheila, for Diana, Five of Wands. You don't have all your ducks in a row yet. Need organization and let go of the fears you have about conflict with others. From Joanne, for Diana, I drew two cards because the first was Six of Wands. She's considering too many projects. Then the Two of Ghosts. So we know Joanne's using the Halloween tarot very appropriately. Stay with the two that she's most passionate about. Do what you're most passionate about, Diana. Ghosts are cups in the Halloween tarot. And Diana says these cards are working with my original card. That's why I love doing this. We just did our in-person tarot circle in Palm City this Sunday, and we did some of these group readings. Joanne will remember that doing this with groups in Niantic, Connecticut. It is so interesting how we can do this group reading. We all pull a card, and for the most part, the cards will work together. Sharon's here. Hey, Sharon. For Diana, we've got the Three of Pentacles reversed. You're not ready to put the work in or to believe in your ability. And here's Tanya. Hi, Tanya. Sheila says that she also likes the Celtic cross, but thought she'd change up once in a while. Yeah, maybe I should too. I don't know. Amy has an interesting question. Now this is, Amy would like a reading. So anyone who's ready to do a reading for Amy, just write Amy's name, the card you got, and your interpretation. Here is Amy's question. What do I need to know or do to decrease the stress I am currently experiencing? Okay, Amy. The Devil reversed. So what this tells me is some of the stress in some way is, I don't want to say self-inflicted, but I do want to say you're allowing it. You know, that you could either change circumstances or change the way you look at circumstances or change the importance you give to certain things and just freaking walk away. When we look at the devil in its right side up thing, we see that the chains around the necks of the people are loose. Their hands are free. They could lift it off and walk away at any time. When the devil is reversed, those chains can just fall off. So you need to decide if it's the way you're processing things, in which case you have to change that, or if it's situations, in which case you need to walk away. You need to decide how you can release this, but it's definitely releasable. And, you know, it's funny that sometimes that's how tarot works. she wanted to know what she needs to know or do to reduce the stress. The card that I get says, you can reduce it. Doesn't really say how. Just says, you can and you should. So let's see what other cards come up for people. Diana agrees with the reading about too many projects. I had deleted the question and asked what to cut up, so disregard my second question. Okay, good call, Diana. And it's so good to see you here. We don't get to see you often enough. I'm glad you're here. So Lola is talking about spreads. And she says, I usually make a specific spread to the question. I also really love the 3 or 5 card spread. I don't do even numbered spreads. Okay, and here are some of Diana's other possibilities. Blogging on travel and lifestyle or a jewelry business. Real quick, and if anyone else wants to do this, go ahead. For Diana, should Diana consider blogging, consider jewelry? I'm going to do 2 cards, one for blogging, one for jewelry. That's a way that I do decision making. Blogging, jewelry. So blogging, I got the 10 of Pentacles reversed. I'm not sure that you want to be consistent enough with it. If you are consistent, it really could work, but you would have to be consistent. But Ace of Cups, jewelry. Now, you can do jewelry and also do tarot and astrology. They all kind of go together, but I would definitely think about jewelry in the mix. Okay. From Irene for Diana, the Princess of Wands, don't be afraid to show your temper. People will be shocked and buy in, then you will improve. Okay. From Tanya, hey Tanya, nice to see you. She wants to know, what do you see regarding my immediate future? So this is fun. 1 card for an immediate future. What's going to happen to Tanya? Let's see. If you want to play along, her name, Tanya, the name of the card, and what you think is going to happen in Tanya's immediate future. Page of Wands reversed. If you have children, you may have a kid who will have some behavioral issues or will need some special help. If you do not have a kid, this could be very much about you and could be about you trying to figure out what you want to do, whether that's career, whether that's hobby, whether that's for fun. What I see you doing in the near future is figuring out what you want to do. Let's see what other people see. Joe is here. Hi, Joe. Jennifer wants to know what the future holds for her. Again, very open question. Hard to do with 1 card because we hope you'll have a very, very long life. But if anyone wants to play, go ahead. Jennifer, name of the card. What do you get? What do I see potentially for Jennifer's future? 5 of Pentacles. Jennifer, you may have some stuff you have to deal with. There may be job changes. There may be some financial issues. It may be emotional, having to do with figuring out who are the people that you resonate with most or who do you belong with. So if there are real financial issues, you may have to make some job changes. You may also have to change the people around you. However, be aware that sometimes it's possible that you could have a feeling that you don't or won't have what you need, but that's a fear, not a reality. So try to figure out, if you're having this feeling of lack, of not having what you need, I'm not going to have enough money, I'm not going to have the right people in your life. If you're having that kind of fear and that kind of anxiety, look at it and decide if there's truth there or if it really just is anxiety. Okay, Jessica's here. Hi, Jessica. For Amy, the Hierophant. It's all about breaking an established pattern. I agree. And, because I know Amy pretty well, I'm going to jump in on that, Lola. And I'm going to say that I happen to know that, the Hierophant can talk about religious dogma, can talk about particular rules in our background. And I'm wondering, Amy, if some of those things, even though you've broken away from a lot of that, if some of that is somehow coming in to bite you in the butt. Just thinking. Okay, from Joanne for Amy, the Fool. Lighten up, take some chances. Don't be too serious all the time. From Sheila for Amy, Ace of Cups. Dig into your spiritual nature. Find something you love and steep yourself in it. Absolutely. Lynette's here. Hey, Lynette. Sheila also thinks Amy needs to have a good cry. Tanya wants to know, what do we see in regards to her buying a home here? So let's take a look. Might Tanya buy a home? Tanya, the card, your answer. What do I see for Tanya? Devil reversed. There may be some things you need to do first. There may be some things you need to get rid of. That could be stuff. It could be debt. It could be disagreements about where the home is. It feels like there's a process there. However, it feels like buying the home ultimately will give you a good sense of relief and therefore should be considered, but recognize there is a process. Hey, Ashley, nice to see you. Now, Ashley is here, and she was actually at our Palm City Tarot Circle. So she's seen this in person as well as online. For Amy, the Seven of Cups, self-discovery, too many options on the table. Think what you can cut out and cut it out. You got this. From Diana for Amy, the Queen of Swords. You need to stop letting people take advantage and set boundaries and become a bit more of a hard ass. I like that one. And Diana likes the idea of metaphysical jewelry. Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. Amy likes that the devil was reversed. Good reminder to slip out of unnecessary mental static. And here's Julie. Hey, Julie. For Amy, the Knight of Swords reversed. Apply some patience, maybe too much energy and not enough direction. From Joanne, for Diana, about blogging, we have the Five of Cups. No. Jewelry, the lovers. You'll enjoy it more, and also the connections with people. I love it. Oh, and here's a card for Sheila. So Sheila's question, and this may be one of the last ones we do before we get on to our topics. Sheila has a birthday next week, and so she wants a birthday card. I love the idea of birthday cards, right? Because we send each other birthday cards. But a birthday card in tarot can be one of two different things. It can be a card we pull to talk about the year you're closing out or the new year you're going into. Something about the energy of this new year for you. A birthday card can also be a card that we choose cognitively to give you as a gift, to give you that energy as a gift. So, if anyone wants to do a divinatory card for Sheila, again, her name's Sheila, the card, and what this card represents to you in light of her birthday. The Magician. So let this year be a year of power. In this year, recognize that you have all the tools and the abilities and the tools that you need. You may want to do some studying this year. You may want to take more seriously something that you've been playing around with. Recognize your strength. Remember that communication is very important. This could be a real powerful year for you for starting new things, for learning new things, and for finding your personal power. Okay, so from Diana for Tanya, Empress. If you don't have a kid, you may have one soon. I see you nesting and creating either family or a creative project. So that could be really good for a new house, Tanya. I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Lola Kenton, go ahead with your question. What's your question? We'll look for it. From Kristen, nice to see you. Hi. For Amy, I pulled Judgment from the Everyday Witch Tarot. Stop being so hard on yourself. I feel like you are your harshest critic, if that makes sense. I know her. It does make sense. Absolutely, absolutely. Jennifer says, everything we've said is what you're going through. Well, so glad you're here. Hope it's helpful. Nice to see you, Barbara. For Jennifer from Joanne, 6 of Pentacles and 6 of Cups. Maybe you need to seek help from a family member or someone you know from past associations. And Joanne's commenting that it's getting crazy. We've got so many questions, it's hard to know what's going on. But I love having a crazy hour with you guys. So much fun. Okay. So here's Lola's question. What should I expect career-wise for October? Every day I'm hoping for a change for the better, no joke. Okay, Lola's career. And we have Lola and Lolur. And Lolur is also Lola. So we have a couple of Lolas here, which is funny. How many Lolas in life do you know? I have one friend named Lola. So I love it that we are attracting Lolas. So Lola Kenton. What should Lola expect career-wise for October? Anyone who wants to do that? Lola, 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 like the Kinks song, but not really. Lola, the card, and your interpretation, what she should expect career-wise this month. Four of Wands, I would say stability, but in a positive way. I know you're looking for change. This doesn't really talk about change necessarily, but does suggest things will be smooth and positive. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So we're not going to get to everyone's questions. We'll get to as many as we can. Let's see what we got going on. Okay. Amy says it's challenging for her to be a hard ass sometimes, but yeah, I hear it. It's a good idea. From Lynette. Hey, Lynette, how you doing? Lynette is starting a new job and hoping it's the right choice. How does it look? So if you're interested, pull a card for Lynette. Lynette, the name of the card. What do you think about her new job? Lynette, I have the 10 of Wands reversed. For me, this is a positive card. You may know some of the people there already and or may quickly become friendly with them. It looks like a supportive atmosphere. Does not look too overwhelming. I think it'll be fine. Congratulations. Okay, for Tanya, from Irene, we have art, which is also temperance. The house has to be just something you will feel like, aha, the work of art. So it looks like it'll be a nice house. From Julie, for Sheila, the 9 of Cups for your birthday. Wishes come true, satisfaction, lots of happiness. Oh, we love that. We love that. And also from Amy for Sheila for her birthday, the Star. Hope, strength, and wishes come true. From Lola for Tanya, the 5 of Wands. Some challenges, struggles will be presented to you, but a positive solution is not out of your reach. That's right. That's right. Okay. For Lola, from Sheila, the Fool. Leap, baby, take a risk. For Lola, from Joanne, the Tower. Need to rebuild, start something new, and build on stability. From Lolur, for Lola, 4 of Coins. Stability as well. I see you staying the course for the time being. If the work isn't satisfying, maybe focus on the financial benefits. Okay. Very good. And Barbara wants to know what's up with her husband. That's an interesting question. We can try it. In this format, that's a hard kind of a question, really. So we'll do a couple more real quick, and then we'll get into our topics in the next few minutes. So let's see. Who was that? What was up with her question? I lost. I think it's Barbara. Is that right? Okay. So whoever that is, I'm sorry, I lost it. But what's up with your husband? 2 of Wands. He's not seeing things the way he used to. You really need to talk to him. He's not looking at the future. He might be depressed. He is definitely not looking to the future the way he was. So there's that. Marcy is here. Marcy Oldenburg. She's starting a new job tomorrow. Okay, a card for Marcy's new job. Marcy, card, new job. Hierophant reversed. You may not get a lot of training. You're going to have to be very independent. Don't let that worry you. Just ask questions as you need to. You'll do fine. Okay. For Lola from Diana for the Hierophant. The Hierophant. You're feeling stifled by bureaucracy, but for now it's better to try not to rock the boat and stick with a conventional approach till something better comes along. Sorry, Lola, we all think you're stuck there for a while. Diana, I think you should be a tarot reader. That's a great interpretation right there. Adina is here. Good to see you. For Lola from Kristen, I pulled the Eight of Pentacles. I see maybe more learning ahead, taking classes to further your career. From Irene, for Lola, for career, fortune reversed. Next time will be better. I see Cheryl here. Glad that you're here. Cheryl joined us at Panera recently as well. And Two of Wands as well for the husband question. So that's kind of interesting. Okay. And answers keep on coming in. I'm not necessarily going to get to read them all, but definitely scroll through. If you ask a question, scroll through and make sure you get all your answers. If you asked a question and we haven't gotten to you, I'm so sorry. We have a limited amount of time, and I don't always see them as they fly by. We have a few more minutes, so let me look at a few more questions. So Jinky is here. Hey, Jinky, glad you're here. Wants to know about love life and career. So I'm going to do that as a 2-card reading. And again, if you want to play along, Jinky is the name. Go ahead and put the card and what you think about it. But remember, we've got 2 questions here, so handle that any way you want. I'm going to go, Jinky, when I look at your love life, Emperor reversed. There may either be someone in your past that you're still hung up on that you shouldn't be, or someone in your life right now who isn't giving you what you need. You may need to really look towards something new, a new person, a new behavior. The old same is not going to work for you. And, so if that's a relationship you're trying to fix, I think you can fix it, but you have to fix it. Doing the old same things will get you the old same results. And when we look at your career, 9 of Wands. So I feel like there is work, but you may not find it delightful. It may be difficult. It may be problematic. But you will have work. If you want to make a change, I think you can make a change and should consider making a change. And so with both of these things in your life, there may be things not going the way you want. And for me, Hinky, the answer is change is necessary on all fronts. You need to consider making changes. So let's see what else we got going on. Diana says she's going to sit on her hands and not type about her lack of confidence any longer. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, plenty of readings happening. Let's do this one from Sharon. Diane wants to know a current question. I'm going to give you a new question. And we're going to let this probably be the last question unless someone shows me a question that just fascinates me. This will be the last one. For Sharon, she wants to know if her house will sell in the near future. I'm assuming that it is, in fact, on the market. So I got death, which is quick for me. So I would say, yes, it will sell very soon. Absolutely. Okay, so if you guys want to continue doing the readings and just make sure you check the thread so you can see what you have said to each other. I see some side conversations going on there. That is great. It is so great that we can all gather together. But I want to, at this point, talk about the topics. And we gathered the topics today in the Global Tarot Circle group on Facebook. So if you're not a member, just search on Global Tarot Circle and ask to join. I will let you in. And there, you can share, if you have blog posts, if you have questions, you can share them there. But primarily we use it to let people know the next time we're going to do this, because I try to do it once a month, but there's not any real rhyme or reason when I do it. I tend to do it Wednesday evenings just because that works for me. But my schedule is crazy. And so if you're in the Global Tarot Circle group, you will absolutely know when we're going to do this again. Also, if you're a local Florida friend, I do put it up on the meetups. And for those of you, I'm just going to do a quick shameless plug, and I'll do more at the end. But those of you in the West Palm Beach area, in Palm Beach County, in Broward County, I am designating November 6th to November 20th my West Palm Beach weeks, where I'm celebrating how I used to have an office in downtown West Palm Beach. We're going to do some free tarot meetups. We're going to do some classes. We're going to do private readings. I will also do house calls and house parties with no travel fees attached for those 2 weeks. So reach out to me if you would like to book something, and keep your eye on my website and on the meetups as I put up events. I'll be putting up events over the next week, so you'll see that. Okay, so now let's talk about our 2 topics. And the topics that I chose out of the ones that were listed that people requested, and we'll get to everyone's request eventually because I'm always looking for topics. But the topics I chose are particularly seasonal. It's October. At the end of the month is Halloween, also known as Samhain, which spiritually is the time when we see the veil between the world of the living and the world of the dead is at its thinnest. This is why we celebrate secular Halloween. It's where it comes from. Halloween is the cross-quarter day between the autumnal equinox and the winter solstice. It's exactly 6 months across the calendar from Beltane, May 1st. And for our friends in Australia, they're not celebrating Samhain. They're celebrating Beltane. It's opposite. So if we have Australians here, happy Beltane. For the rest of you, happy Halloween, happy Samhain. So the whole idea of trick-or-treating is to put out treats for the spirits that wander the earth on Halloween night because of the thinning veil. The whole idea of costumes, well, there's 2 theories there. One was you wanted to dress up so that returning spirits would not recognize you, in case there were people that you had wronged who might come back to talk to you about it. The other is that we dress up like ghouls and goblins in order to make them feel at home. So there's a few theories there, but from a spiritual perspective, we do spirit communication all year round. We talk to those who have passed on all the time. But we do it maybe with greater ease at this time of year. And while October 31st is the day where we say this happens, there's a lead up to it and a time after. So in the weeks before and the weeks after, we feel the spirit world more. And I talk to people even who aren't aware of that, aren't aware of the calendar, think about Halloween as a time to get drunk or eat candy or whatever, which I'm into as well, whatever. But they don't think about it, but they will call and say, I've been having these dreams, or I've really felt the presence of my mother who has passed on around me. So I feel like these things really do happen, I see it. So we're talking about spirit communication with tarot, and we're talking about it now because we're close to Samhain. And I would suggest that even if you're a person who does not include spirit communication as part of your regular practice, which I do, but even if you don't, this time of year would be a great time to try. So, in the chat room, in the comments, which I am, so hoity-toitily calling a chat room, go ahead and let me know. Have you done spirit communication with tarot? Have you tried to do it and had good results? Have you done a reading where you weren't really thinking about communicating with spirit, but spirit popped up into the reading? Sometimes that can happen. What are your techniques for this? How does this work for you? I'm just going to go ahead and share a little bit about what I do in this regard. But go ahead and share your thoughts on this and your questions about it as well. So very often when I'm doing a reading for someone, I will see the presence of spirit. It will often come up as a court card. that I just have the feeling, who's this person? This is not a living person. This is a person. It's not a living person. Sometimes the Empress will come up to describe someone's mother in spirit, or the Emperor, their father. So I might see it in the cards. Now, when we talk about the court cards, we know a court card could be a living person, a person who has passed on, could be a part of yourself, could be advice, could be predictive, could be all kinds of things. But sometimes intuitively you just feel it a certain way, right? And sometimes in that reading, I will feel the sense of that spirit, that entity kind of dancing on my brain. That's how I feel it. And if I listen, I can kind of hear it. And I can promise you that when I first started reading cards, I could do none of those things, at least not to my knowledge. Working with the cards will make you more psychic. So if you say, well, gee, I'm not a medium, I've never done this kind of thing before, play with it, because maybe you will find those gifts will come to you, especially at this time of year. Now, about this, Sheila says, I've done spirit communication with tarot, but don't always need to use the cards. Right. From Amy, she says, spirit comes through all the time in my readings. There is a feeling I get. I always ask my client if they are open to hearing from a loved one in spirit. I do the same thing. Absolutely. Diana says, I've never thought of the court cards or other cards representing spirit or someone who has passed. Interesting. Well, let me give you a few others. Judgment can be a specific message from the angels, for instance. That's one. From Kristen, I use a daily message spread all the time to communicate with my mom. My dad and my uncle have also come through. Very simple 3-card spread. This is good, everyone. Pay attention. First card is today. Second card is message from loved one. Third card is their advice. Oh, that is beautiful. What a great way to do that. Thank you for sharing that. That's beautiful. From Lola, I read for a friend whose boyfriend had deceased earlier this year. He had been murdered. I cast a circle outside for protection and made it very clear that he was only welcome to communicate with me while that circle was open. Yeah, that's good. I was doubtful I'd connect, but was absolutely blown away by the answers to the questions, as was my friend. It really read that he was finally free to be the person he couldn't be during his troubled life. Beautiful. Amy says, I find the cards incredibly helpful in receiving the messages. Absolutely. I do too. And so, here's an interesting thing along the line here, along this line from Diana. She says, I seem to have some block about calling myself psychic or trying to connect with spirit guides, etc. But I've started doing paranormal investigations. I realize that disconnect between the two makes no sense. Well, and honestly, I would so go back to the idea of confidence, that it's about confidence. And I think, Diana, I think there's a part of you too that doesn't want to be, what's the word? Fraudulent. There are lots of people who claim gifts they don't have and who do it to scam people. And, confidence in the psychic world is a funny thing because, you have to be confident in your ability to do it. But on the other hand, if you're cocky about it, or if you're confident about something that is not in your skill set, that becomes a problem. And she says there's a lot of Scully in me too. So I know that's a pop culture reference to that show that I never watched, The X-Files. And actually I did watch it and hated it, to be honest with you. I watched it a couple of times. Is Scully the one who Scully is why I didn't like the show. She's the one who every freaking show says, no way, no way, no way. And every freaking show, the other dude, I don't remember his name, has to prove to her that he's right and she's wrong. I only watched the first 3 episodes. That was the plot each time I was done. But let's talk about this. Because, Diana, what you're saying makes sense in that you're skeptical. Right, the skeptic. Yes, you're skeptical. I actually wrote a blog post recently about skeptics and tarot. And I'll tell you what, I'm skeptical too. And I think it's good to be skeptical. I really do. But, there's nothing wrong with opening it up and seeing what happens. Let me try and see what happens. Let's give it a try. Adita says the name is Mulder. Right, I remember that now. Thank you. I'm not a huge TV person, although this season I am loving Orville. If anyone likes sci-fi, Orville is the freaking bomb, I gotta tell you. Anyway, that's a whole digression. All right. So what we've thought about then is seeing spirit in the cards, feeling spirit, doing spreads that ask for a message from spirit, and sometimes I'll just do a dialogue. Excuse me. If someone says, suppose someone has had a recent passing, I might pull some cards for who was this person in life, what was their experience at death, what was their experience after death, and you can always see, or almost always see, the people who came to get them and who they're with. You can ask, what are they doing now? Just pull a couple cards. There it is. So here's Jamie saying, I'm skeptical too. But the greatest thing my shamanic teacher ever said to me was, it's your journalism training that makes you question everything. But why don't you, for now, assume that everything you're experiencing is real and see what happens? That's fair. I like that. That's very good. So the other piece, and please keep on chatting in around spirit communication and what your experiences have been using the cards. I'm going to just suggest an exercise that we can all try. And if you want to chat in what you got, go ahead. And you can also carry on this conversation. We're going to end in 11 minutes. But you can carry on this conversation in the Global Tarot Circle group if you like. Diana says, I should try reading cards at my next paranormal investigation. And Diana says, yes, I had a journalism background before going into healthcare also. So we have a few people with journalistic backgrounds. I was just saying to someone the other day that if I had to do a different career and could get in a time machine, I might have chosen journalism. So that's funny. I never really thought about journalism and psychics having a connection. But what do we both do? We ask questions. Journalists ask questions. Psychics ask questions. So it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? And again, I think it's good to bring a skeptical brain to all of this. But I also like the idea of suspending disbelief and just seeing what happens. I think we can trust ourselves that we're not suddenly going to become people from space, unless we really are people from space, which, some of us might be. Okay. So let's do this exercise. I want you to think about a loved one in spirit. It could be someone you knew in life. It could be someone who passed on before you were born, but whose presence you have felt in your life. My grandfather is like that. He died while my mother was pregnant with me. Apparently I look like him, and I have always felt him around me. So you can do it. I want you to identify a particular person, someone known or not known to you, but that you have a connection with. And I want you to simply ask the question, what is your message for me today? What do you want me to know? And pull one card and see if you can interpret it as a message from that individual. And if you want, go ahead and share your results either here or in the Global Tarot Circle group later. So I'll do mine. Again, I'm thinking about my grandfather. I got 2 of Swords reversed, which is a really interesting card. It is the card of peace, but reversed. In its upright position, it might talk about being at peace. It might talk about decisions being made. It's reversed, and the message is really, really clear, actually, to me. I believe my grandfather is telling me that I need to be okay with trusting my decisions. I do tend to second guess myself an awful lot, And there's a particular project I'm working on right now where I've been doing some second guessing. So I think that's what that's about. Okay, from Amy. It was hard for me to accept that the gift of mediumship I have leaned on and needed personally for most of my life could be used with my clients. I tried to limit spirit with boundaries not to come through with clients because I was afraid of the enormous responsibility of conveying messages correctly in such a tender place for clients. Spirit came through regardless and showed me that I didn't have to be afraid of that. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful, beautiful. Here's a message. This is Lola, having done the exercise from Pogo, her beloved dog. The lovers. Neither time nor space separates us. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. So you can see how poignant this is. Okay, so keep on going with that. But our final topic tonight is tarot magic. And remember, with Sheila's birthday, we were talking about the birthday card that could be a magical gift. The idea that you can choose a card that holds the energy of what you want to manifest. So for instance, if I needed a new car, I might choose the Chariot. What would I do with the Chariot? I might meditate with it. I might hold it to my heart. I might print out the image and put it somewhere where I could look at, it. I might put it on my altar and burn some candles and do magic and visualize what I want. But as a final exercise, as we wind down the exercise of spirit communication, and I just saw a couple more that I wanted to share real quick. From Jean, from Mom, the Knight of Cups, thinking of harsh people nearby and how I'm going to handle that energy. Interesting, very interesting. I like that. From Joanne, the Four of Swords, from her brother. We were very close and had some extremely hard times together. I think with this card, he is telling me to chill out, slow down, and give it a rest. From Sheila, from her grandfather, who shares her birthday. The Ace of Pentacles, opportunity in finances, and he had his own business. You see how these connections happen. It's really brilliant. Really brilliant. Julie, my mom, Six of Cards reversed, not accepting the transition. Sure. So play with this, especially at this time of year. Play with it. Again, you can discuss it in the Global Tarot Circle group. It's a good exercise, and there can be a lot of healing that comes here. Now, let's move on to magic. So sometimes when I have great need, I will go through my deck and pull out every card that associates with my need, lay it all out, and I'll sort of say, I put this card here to bring me this, and I put this card here to bring me that. And I'll light some candles and meditate with it. Very, very effective. So you can try that. If you have particular ways of doing tarot magic or particular stories, go ahead and chat in. But here's the exercise. So without getting into any particular conversation, I think we're all aware that the world is really crazy right now. It's crazy politically. It's crazy with disasters. We've got fires. We've got floods. We've got earthquakes, hurricanes. All the four elements are going crazy right now. I don't want to talk about why that is. I just want to talk about the fact that clearly it is. And then there are, sort of the mood things. There's so much anger and there's all this, sort of intense division, not just in our country, but in the world. And so what I want you to do is think about a present for the world. What energy can we bring to the world right now to try to make a difference? Now, and this is not a choice at random. I want you to look through your deck and pick one card that represents an energy that you think the world needs. And there's a lot we could do. I just saw the Ace of Cups. I was like, that song, What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love. That would work. but I'm actually looking for a specific card. You can have a card in mind and go through and find it like I'm doing, or you can look through and see what grabs you. But I was looking for the 10 of Pentacles. And this is, I think magic works best when it's expressed, when it's either expressed in your mind or spoken aloud or written down. And Lola has done exactly the exercise, 2 of Cups, harmony and equality. That's what she wants to bring to the planet. With the 10 of Pentacles, I want to bring to the planet the realization that this is everybody's home. And for 2 reasons. Number 1, to recognize that everyone who's here belongs here. And that's not a border issue. I'm just saying on the planet. We all belong on the planet. And because of that, we have to take care of the planet and take care of the planet the way you would take care of a home you love. So that's the energy that I want to bring. Sheila, the 7 of Cups, options, dreams, and choices. Joanne, she was going to pick the card, but turned over the deck, and there it was, strength. So I hope during this magical season, you will incorporate spirit communication into your practice and see where it takes you. I also hope you will incorporate tarot magic into your practice. And we did some tarot magic here today at the very beginning simply by inverting a card. And sometimes at the tarot table, when I'm doing a reading for someone, I may take a card and reverse it or take a card and turn it right side up, expressing my intent for doing it as a way of bringing magic even to the reading. So I want to thank all of you for being here. Go ahead and do some shameless self-promotion. If you want to promote your website, if you want to promote your business site here on Facebook, if you have something you want to promote, go ahead and put it in. Here's my shameless self-promotion. I am available for readings by phone, Skype, FaceTime, and Messenger from anywhere in the world. I'm also available for mentorship. Wherever you are in your tarot journey, I can help you get to the next level. If that's about business, if that's about learning to read, if that's about your own personal practice, I can help you as a mentor. For those of you who are local in the local Florida area, this is my office in Palm City. That's on the Treasure Coast, about 30 miles north of West Palm Beach. You can come see me here. I also want to remind you that I'm doing West Palm Beach Days. That's coming up November 6th to the 20th, where I'll be doing house calls and house parties with no travel fee. I'll also have a few locations for private readings right in West Palm Beach by appointment. And I'll be doing some classes and workshops, the first of which is already scheduled. Monday, November 6th, we're doing a meetup. It's free. We're doing it at Panera in West Palm Beach. You can find out which Panera. It's Village Boulevard. That's the one we're using. You can find out more about it by going to the tarot meetups in West Palm Beach on meetup.com or going to my website, christianagaudet.com. 7 o'clock, Monday the 6th. I would love to see you there. And I thank all of you. I want to give you one more notice. The 2nd edition of Fortune Stellar. Yeah, I have blown way past my deadline. I really apologize for this. But I am so excited about this project, and I have really decided that things of quality have no fear of time. Where are we at? It's written, it's edited, the cover art is done. Right now it's in layout, and of course there'll have to be a final proofing. And my layout guy is my IT guy who is my husband. And he is meticulous. He is so good. I had problems with the layout in the 1st edition. And I promise you the 2nd edition is going to be gorgeous. Things of quality, have no fear of time. But it will be ready soon. So if you have pre-ordered, if you did support my Indiegogo, thank you so much. We'll be getting it to you very soon. And for those of you who are waiting for publication to get your copy, I promise you we'll have it soon. So I want to thank all of you for being here. Oh, and here, okay, Allison Spokes is here. Good to see you. I promised my followers a giveaway if I can get just one more like on my tarot page. Allison Spokes, Geek and Fairy Tarot. So go to her page and give her that like. Okay. There's a lot of fun stuff in the chat room. I don't have time to read it all to you, but take the time to read it. Get to know each other, friend each other, your tarot friends are your best friends. Let's be a great community together. I thank you all so much for being here, and I will look forward to seeing you soon.